Flosstube friends, flossies, or whatever you want to call yourselves, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mad Morti. The channel is Mad Morti and the Brom. The Brom today is off on his motorbike doing a charity bike ride, and we'll be doing a video about that at another point. So I've taken the opportunity, while it is not quite as hot as it has been this last week, to do a stitch with me on my chatelaine, the Poison Garden Chatelaine. This is the front page. So it is Martina Rosenberg. As always, we have the wobbly camera, I'm afraid, so hope you don't feel too seasick, but here we go. This is the design I'm working on, the Poison Garden Mandala. Let's zoom in a little bit. That way, there we go, that's better. Wobble. And the bit I'm working on is right in the middle. And the trouble with these wonderful designs is the photos don't do them justice, and that's kind of understandable. There actually is a photograph, but it's really difficult to get all that detail in. See, here you go, photograph. Lighting's not brilliant today either, but hopefully you'll be able to see what we're working on. And while we're stitching today, I thought I would share with you the story of Mad Morti and the Brom and the Gendarmes. If I can manage to stitch and talk at the same time, this will be quite the feat. Let's move that gold thread out of the way because I've parked it up here for later. I'm hoping you can see enough of what I'm doing. I need to zoom out just a little bit so it's easier. The thread we're working on with, let's start again, the thread we're working with at the moment is Gloriana. The colour is aubergine. It's 4 yards of a 12 strand silk. It's this gorgeous purple. Doesn't look very purple in the camera. Probably not least because I've got a yellow cast of light rather than a white one. But it is rather fab. It's a very subtle variegation, which I think maybe you can just about see there, from a very dark aubergine to a dark purple. It's just, oh, makes my heart sing, that colour. Right, and we are working a design around, kind of around the edge here. So sorry for the wobbles. Hope you get some chuckles about what I'm about to talk to you about. And oh, I need to, that's better, lower my chair. So let us begin. Right, now it's going to take a while to do the stitching, by the way. You're just going to have to bear with us because it's going to be a slow process. Very slow process to do all of these. Lots of counting, and hopefully I can tell you a story at the same time. Right, see how far we go. Okay, there's your first stitch going in. So the story of the gendarmes. Okay, let me take you back to May 2019. I'm going to have to give you a bit of backstory about all of this, but rest assured, I think it's worth it. We are part of Medieval Reenactment Society, as you all know, and back in May 2019 we moved into the house we're in at the moment, and a week after that, thereabouts, we went for a road trip across France into Italy, to go and see the Palio della Balestra in Gubbio in the Umbrian region of Italy. So we took a road trip. Anybody who's interested in seeing more about that, it's over on our other channel, The Broms Abroad, and I'll leave a link in the description. There's one part of the story that didn't quite make it properly into the filming because we didn't film. But the story of the ending starts near the beginning. One of the first things we did was we got the ferry across into France, landing at Roscoff even, I'll get it right. And we went and stayed with a friend of ours who was in Brittany. And when we left there, we took an assortment of bags. If I have any photographs, I will drop a few in where relevant. Okay. And if you hear any snuffling behind me, that's the dog. So anyway, when we left the afternoon permaculture B&B where we were staying, David took the bags out to rearrange them or to get something else in, and we didn't realise that he'd left one of the bags on the ground outside the car when he jumped in, and we drove off. So we got a message a while later when we were too far away to do anything about it to say, "You left a bag at afternoon." What do you mean? They found a bright blue bag. Sent a picture, and like, yes, that would be the bag that has got all our towels in. Never mind, they're not important. We can always go and pick up some more from wherever we're staying. We'll pick it up on the way back through. And our friend Honor said, yeah, no problem. She said, we can arrange to meet up on your return. While you're in Italy, can you pick me up a pack of Parmesan cheese? Proper Italian Parmesan. My cat's joining in now. So we said, sure, not a problem. Absolutely perfect, good idea. We can do that. We can exchange it when we hand the bag over. You know, you can give us the bag, we can give you the Parmesan. I wonder if you can see where this is going. So off we go. And we carried on a trip through France. We drove into Italy. We arrived in Italy on the Friday, I think, for the Palio, which was on the Sunday. So we were going to do some touring around and have a look around the town of Gubbio. We'd never been before. We don't speak Italian. Luckily I speak some French. But we had a fab time. That's all that really matters. We had a fab time. And it being a crossbow competition and the town being renowned for its crossbows and its crossbow competition, they do actually, see, look, I'm forgetting to stitch and talk at the same time. They do actually have, you can buy souvenirs of crossbows, and most of them are very little. But within our medieval reenactment society, David is the crossbowman, so it stood to reason that he really needed a reasonable sized crossbow. We went into a shop and they had various sizes on display. They had one that was a sort of 2/3 to 3/4 size replica. They had two, in fact, but we picked the one with the ram's head on it because David is Aries. Thought that was perfect. He was meant to have it. And it was an affordable amount of money. It wasn't cheap, but considering that the authentic, proper, shootable crossbows, the ones that they use in their crossbow competition, are retailing between €2,000 and €5,000, we thought €150 wasn't a bad amount of money to spend on, you know, what is essentially a souvenir, but would make a really good prop for the medieval reenactment group, Domus Lunaris. It's good. It was really good. Fast forward to Monday. So we pack all our stuff up. We've attended the Crossbow Festival. It was brilliant. We had a fabulous time. We had delayed leaving on the Sunday. We knew we really ought to leave at around about 4 o'clock, but because the weather had not been very good, they delayed the start, you know, so we wanted to see what we'd actually gone there for, so we delayed leaving as well. And this is all important. It's all part of the full story. We had delayed leaving, so we were in a hurry when we left. And we had everything packed up in our car, and we'd very carefully sequestered this replica crossbow. We'd taken what they call the rabbit foot out, which is a piece of metal which it basically acts as a trigger. You cock it to hold the string, try not to wobble. You cock it to hold the string, and then when you want to release the string, a release mechanism rolls the rabbit foot and it releases the string, and off you go. So we'd hidden that separately to the rest of the crossbow. just in case we got stopped, you know, because we weren't sure about whether or not we were going to be allowed to return home with this in our car. You know, it's 4 foot long nearly. It's quite a big beastie. And we packed it between our bags and the seats on the car, and the car was pretty rammed with stuff, you know. We've been camping, got everything with us, and off we drove. We drove so fast to try and get back to meet our ferry, which we thought was at 3:30 or thereabouts, 3:45 in Roscoff. And we're like, we can do it, not a problem. Forgetting, of course, that we've got to meet with Donna. And as we got close, we said to her, right, we can meet you at such and such a place. We went through the, it's a bit out of sequence there, but we went through the Mont Blanc tunnel about 1 o'clock in the morning, and David didn't realise there was a speed limit, or what the speed limit was, so we got two speeding fines in the Mont Blanc tunnel alone. Luckily they don't put points on your licence from Europe. And another one just sort of 20 miles later, and I think that was kind of the point where I said, no mate, you've got to stop and get some sleep because your judgment's a little bit off here. But it was okay. It was, shall we say, quite entertaining, that drive, what I wasn't asleep for. So we got to Brittany. Bear in mind we left at about 5 o'clock the afternoon before. We managed to get into the Brittany area for around about 2, which was really good going. And we said to Donna we would meet her at such and such a place, and she couldn't get there in time. So she said, no, what I'll do, she said, I'll meet you. I'll drive up and meet you at Roscoff Ferryport. So up we went. And we got there and called her and said, can't see you. And she says, I can't see you. Where are you? We're at the port. She said, I'm at the port. We then realised Roscoff's got 2 ports. We were at the old port. She was at the new port. And the new port is where the ferry was leaving from. So we also very quickly rang the ticket office and said to them, we are on our way, please don't sail the ferry. At this point we'd also realised that our ferry was due to leave at 3, not at 3:30 or 3:45. And they said, not a problem, we will hold the ferry for you, but not for long. You need to basically get a shuffle on, get over here. So we're like, okay, sorry, wobble. We said, okay, we'll get there. So it's only like a 5-minute drive, I suppose, from Old Port to Newport. So we come screaming round the corner in our red car into the car park, and there's Donna, the only car in the holding area, and she stood outside her car with our blue bag, our blue duffel bag. This is where it becomes fun. This is the meat of the story. She stood there waiting for us. We screeched to a halt, jump out, give her a hug. I think we gave her a hug, Donna, if you're watching this, can you confirm? But we jump out, basically there's an exchange. Dive in our cool bag, or cool box that we had with us, pull out a package, a wrapped package with about 2 or 3 pound in weight of Parmesan cheese, which we then hand over, this white paper wrapped package, to our friend, who gives us a duffel bag in exchange. Says, on you go. So then we drive quickly to the ticket booth to check in, and the ticket booth go, yeah, not a problem, yeah, we've got your ticket, we've got this, we've got that, we've got the other, yes, excellent, on you go. And as we approach the ferry, there's a car full of gendarmes sat there waiting. Bearing in mind everybody else is on the ferry bar us. And they stop us. And we're like, no, we've got to get on the ferry. The ferry wants to leave. And the gendarmes are, no, we want to inspect your car. And at this point, we suddenly realised that maybe stopping in the main car park in full view of the gendarmes with nobody else around as distraction to swap a duffel bag for a suspicious-looking wrapped package in paper was perhaps not a good idea. And then equally quickly after that thought was, we have a crossbow on our back seats. Says the gendarme, "Good afternoon, sir and madam. Can we, could you tell us where have you been?" And David pipes up, "Italy." And he said, "Oh, so where, and how long were you there for?" And David, without thinking for a moment, says, "The weekend." And the gendarme looks at him and looks in the car and looks at me and says, "Could you step out the car a moment, please, sir?" Who in their right mind drives to Italy for the weekend? So I'm sitting there bricking it and thinking, oh no, they're going to tip the car out, they're going to let the ferry go, we're going to have to wait another 24 hours for our ferry, we can't afford to, I've got to be at work on Monday. So 2 other gendarmes start opening car doors. They open the side behind me. I open my car door and I say, "I can show you photographs to prove that we were there for the weekend if you would like." "No, madame." He says, "Stay in the car, please." "Oh, okay. Will do." Hang on a minute, need to count. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And how many have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 6. So 2 more. Right. "No, madame, please stay in the car. I don't want to see your photographs. Thank you very much." And they start opening car doors and looking. And so David sits there and he says, or stands there outside, and he says, "No, really, we've been in Italy for the weekend." And I said to him, "David, tell him we were in France for the week before that. We came to France, then we went to Italy, and now we're driving home." Can't remember if he did or not. I was too worried. I was aware of the fact that they were opening this door and they were opening that door. And just before they got to the 3rd passenger door, where if they'd opened the 3rd passenger door, they would have seen the the bow part of the crossbow. Obviously, whatever they'd found or seen was, we were camping in Italy. We have been to Italy, and we've just met our friend because we left a bag behind in France, and we brought her some Parmesan cheese. It must have satisfied them, because the next thing we know, they're like, "Oh, right, okay, on your way," and they shut all the car doors and flagged us onto the ferry. I'm not sure whether or not we got a round of applause, but the car that was just in front of us, he was just getting out of the car, so he hadn't long beaten us. He said, "Oh, that makes a change. Normally I'm the last one on board." And crazily enough, another car screeched to a halt on deck behind us before they closed the doors. But in full view of the waiting gallery at the top of the ship, we had been inspected by the gendarmes and very nearly, I suspect, stopped for smuggling in weaponry. So that's the story of what happened with the gendarmes. But it was just the fact that there was this really suspicious package. 7, 8. Oh, I've done too many now. This really suspicious package that we got, that we handed over with our friend. So hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9. Hang on, 1, 2, 3. Carried away there. Look at that. That shouldn't be there. One too many. So that's the story of Morti and the gendarmes. And I'm not in a hurry to repeat it, let's just say, because it was nerve-wracking. But that said, I do want to do that road trip again, because that was a lot of fun. 1, that's 2, 3, and that's the 4th one. Should go up 1, random little one just here. But it was a good trip. It was a really good trip. It's worth having a look at the videos. This week I'm intending to edit and upload the video from the trip that we did. When was it? May 2022, because we were due to go back in May 2020, but of course, small pandemic stopped all travel, which was most disappointing, I have to say. And then other travels that we've got include Malta. We're hoping to go back to Italy next year. Again, I'm going to make an effort to actually learn my Italian this time, because I've got a wee smattering of it. I can sort of count to 10 and ask for the bill, that kind of thing. But it'd be nice to actually be able to have a proper conversation with people. Next year we can't do the Gubbio San Sepolcro trip, but there is a new Palio di Bellestra, which is going to be between Gubbio and Assisi. And if you recall from our other, oh, there's the cat, our other video previously, which I will link up here, we visited Assisi and visited the School of Needlework, and I do need to learn my Italian so that I can go one day. That would be fab. So didn't get a lot of stitching done, and we've managed to do managed to do 22 minutes, and now the cat's annoying me. So maybe what I'll do is I'll stop the video here, and we can pick up another stitch with me with, you might want to hear the story of the gnome. Morti's travel musings, the kind of things that we get up to. We might make a bit of a difference from just talking about stitching, because you know, we love to stitch. We do love to stitch, but I think on that note, somebody is being a little bit persistent, and I'd better go and sort him out. So a few stitches, not a massive amount, a 25-minute video. We're rambling about craziness. Thank you for joining me. I will see you on the next one, and we will carry on with doing some more on this. Bye.